hopefully the live stream continues to work. Anyways, let me just go ahead and test the mic if it's being tested. Let me go ahead and test the mic. All right, testing, testing, testing. Can you guys hear me in this live stream? Hello, 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 hello. Can you guys hear me? This is Golden Devin-Foxy Remastered speaking. Can you guys hear me? Testing, testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? And if you guys can hear me in the chat, by the way, please let me know again in the chat, by the way, so that way, I hope that you guys can definitely enjoy this live stream. So, anyways, if you guys can hear me, please let me know so that way I'll definitely be able to hear you guys. So, go ahead and tell me in the chat if you guys can hear me, but if not, then we'll try our best to see if the connection doesn't try to lag too much, but I hope it tries to not do any of that because it's kind of preposterous and it's pretty stupid. So hopefully it probably won't do that. So I hope not. I really hope not too, man. Hope not. Yo, what's up, man? What's up? Welcome to the live stream. How's it going? First person in the chat we have is STN Guy EN77. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the channel, by the way. Welcome to the channel. I'm expecting a thunderstorm on 4th of July. Oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. Well, I have to say, yeah, that sucks. If you are expecting a thunderstorm, that pretty much sucks, which, yeah, it does suck. And I'll actually say I agree with you. It does kind of suck. But for me right now, I'd say for the 4th of July, I think for me, I'd say that's a pretty good question for how I'm going to like spend my time on the 4th of July. Well, that's a good question. I mean, I probably am going to kind of expect seeing fireworks go up outside at night, which I might probably be going out for the night exactly to see the fireworks going up, by the way. And also, I probably might be expecting less mosquitoes around, by the way, to pretty much say is like, oh, I'd say for your question, by the way, man, I'd say that, yeah, I mean, probably might be expecting less mosquitoes, by the way. I might be expecting a less bit of mosquitoes, which I probably am going to kind of expect about, like, less mosquitoes. And, okay, the next one says, I'm expecting heavy rain on Saturday. Oh, darn. Man, that's pretty heavy rain, man. That's darn. That's a pretty expected rain right there. That's pretty unexpected, bruh. It's pretty unexpected. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Like, I hope that you survive the thunderstorm and the heavy rain on Saturday because I mean, I hope so. And said, I won't be able to do fireworks on that day. Yikes. Oh, yikes. Yeah, I probably now I can expect why exactly because that stings. That totally stings. I mean, well, for pretty much my advice, I would say is maybe if you can try to like find some channels, if you can try to find the fireworks that goes off by the way or whatever. I mean, on some bit of resources, I would say I'm not too expected to see what kind of resources that you like would find on whatever exactly on TV to watch the fireworks there exactly at least, but that's a pretty good question, which I hope the power outage doesn't go out, by the way, because that would probably be not of a good sign if that would have happened, but at least hopefully not. I mean, hopefully not at least. Hopefully not. Anyway, so as I was going to say for how I'm going to probably go and see the fireworks, by the way, at the night, I probably would say I might have less mosquitoes out there. Just to say is like, finally, less mosquitoes I could finally rely on, which seriously, I do not want to get bit because I have been bit a lot of times out there because I've been bit a lot. I mean, from the other side, pretty much when I was in Portland, exactly, because that, by the way, was not a good sign because I was like expecting a lot of bites out there. I was like, fuck. I was getting bit out there. I was getting bit a lot out there. I was like, damn it. Like, I was like expecting a lot of bites that were around my arms, my legs, and of course, whatever exactly. And of course, my fingers or hands at least. That was like an ow. Like, I was like, yow. That was really painful. Like, that was like the most painful one I ever gotten bit for the longer times I had ever been bit. But here in exactly of pretty much where I'm currently at right now is I might be expecting less mosquitoes as long as there's no like waterfalls or anything, because I know there might be tons over there in the waterfalls, exactly because I think I did experience a little bit of a resource earlier while later back a little bit last other time just to kind of look exactly. And it did said this, by the way, by saying is like, oh, mosquitoes might be on some parts of the wet land, that they might be probably be on some parts of the wet of the land, which is like, yeah, I probably would say that. I'd say that, well, I'm good. I'm good. I mean, I probably would rather go somewhere that isn't anywhere than mosquitoes, but I would say that, again, that is pretty much preposterous. That is like literally preposterous. Like, that is pretty much like that. So, as I can tell you guys right now, exactly for how I'm going to spend my time over there is like saying, is like, man, literally on the 4th of July, I'm literally am going to kind of expect saying is like, there's going to be like less mosquitoes out there because it's going to be a good thing a little bit by saying is like, bro, finally, less mosquitoes. I could finally have less upper hand about. Like, I could finally have lesser ways upper handedly without having any mosquitoes. At least for finally, for good sakes. But anyway, back to the conversation, anyways, that I'll have to say is like, yeah, I hope that you don't have, I hope that you would actually not have your power going off, by the way, if there was like some thunderstorm or rain coming, which that probably sucks. I mean, I probably would still give you a shout out, by the way, since I'm probably am going to consider regardlessly say as I'm going to give you a shout out for that, because I mean, for me, I'm going to just consider recommending the shout out anyway. So definitely consider the shout out to you, man. Totally the shout out. But anyway, my only considering to say right now in this live stream is I think hopefully at the end of the day that we might expect a lot of good people coming in this live stream, because I mean, for me exactly, I just hope that we'll continue more live streams for this fourth channel to keep continuing, which I actually am continuing to say I might have like two more live streams coming up soon, which is going to be about like something pretty good updated news about pretty much how exactly an example, how pretty much likely, oh, my FNAF 2 movie version of this fourth channel is going to probably be. And of course, season 2 is going to be exactly because I know I have to like mention it anyways, which I probably might go on and mention that about. And also, the good news is, by the way, is if you guys definitely enjoy my MET videos, by the way, with the characters, with a Chica, with a Foxy, with a Golden Freddy, with a Shadow Freddy, and of course, Shadow Bonnie. Well, I bet you guys definitely met those characters, by the way, on the playlist, by the way, since I finally got that done and accomplished. I was like, think Neptune. I was like, think Neptune. I wanted that done. Like, think Neptune, man. Think Neptune. And also, the only thing I also finally got, by the way, too, was finally got Springtrap finally to be in the MET video, which I was like, yes, 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 yes. I was like, yes, we finally needed Springtrap at that point, because I mean, he probably would still be in the FNAF of the playlist, by the way, of the MET videos, by the way, since I know regularly he might probably be in that playlist anyway, so that's probably why I added Springtrap over there. So that's probably why I added him right there. So, anyways, let's go ahead and continue along on this live stream and say is like, I have to say this entire likely of how this live stream is right now. The live stream is pretty good. The live stream is pretty average, a little bit, just a bit average, but expected one person to show up on the live stream, which actually was a good thing, by the way. So I'd say, yeah, that's totally a good thing, man. Totally a good thing. Like, very a good thing. And speaking of that, anyways, let me go ahead and consider, going on top things for a minute. So the person, by the way, has 75 XP, by the way. Nice. For first place. Congratulations, man. Congratulations for being first. And also, I will give you a shout out, by the way, exactly on the title, by the way, to give you a shout out, since I probably will give you a shout out anyways. So there's a shout out, man. Definitely giving you a shout out, even though that, I actually was reading your chat, by the way. But yes, I actually am going to give you a recommended shout out for the first time, anyways, on this live stream. So you're definitely welcome. And yeah, it does suck, by the way, that you're actually having like a thunderstorm, to be expecting a thunderstorm on like the 4th of July with the heavy rain on Saturday, which that does suck, which I'll be honest with you, man, is at least I probably won't have that kind of thunderstorm or even rain out there either, which I hope not, by the way, because I mean, for me right now, I think it's right now, it's just like a desert at this point. So I'd say, yeah, I probably would say there probably won't be any rain or regardless, because I mean, I did expect it. There was like a thunderstorm last time when I was in a hotel. I was like, shoot, like, was there a thunderstorm outside? Like, that's when I was kind of expecting the first time to see it. And I actually did saw that flash, by the way, when that was actually outside, by the way. I was like, holy damn, that's like the craziest thing I ever seen out there for the first time ever, which, it probably might be my first time anyway. It was actually like my very first time to see that. I was like, shoot. Like, for real, dude. I was like, for real, I saw that outside. I literally saw that. Well, not regard likely outside, but just inside I saw that, by the way. Made a lot more sense. So, there you go. And all I can say exactly, of course, is if you guys are a new person to this channel, on this fourth channel of the Finance of Freddy's channel, or should I say, Devin-Foxy's FNAF channel, by the way, then go ahead and absolutely subscribe, by the way. So that way you won't miss a single video that comes onto our fourth channel. And remember this, by the way, for those who are new on this fourth channel, this channel is only about Finance of Freddy's. This channel's always been about Finance of Freddy's and will remain to continue to be about Finance of Freddy's. So if you guys definitely consider are being excited for more Finance of Freddy's stuff, then yeah, more of that, by the way. The awesome it will be, the better exactly will probably be interesting. So I can say otherwise before and see what I can say is that yeah, I actually am now going to say and kind of expect that yeah, there is going to probably be very much interesting stuff on this fourth channel. Even though we probably might need to get more subscribers on this fourth channel, because I mean, let's be honest with you guys right now. Let's be honest with you guys. I mean, my fourth channel has never even succeeded all the way at 200 subscribers anyway, which actually does suck, which I will be real with you guys already, that I do wish the same thing that my fourth channel could have gotten, like right now, is moving up more subscribers, but unfortunately, we just have to keep on waiting for a lot of more information of stuff, of good news. But until then, by the way, I actually will expect to say, I hope and honestly pray to say this, by the way. We hope to see what happens and kind of see what happens anyway. So, there you go. And anyways, without that being said, I'll definitely subscribe to the person's channel, by the way. That definitely, that actually did give me a bit of the chats, by the way, since I actually am going to subscribe to the person. So, anyway, that being said, anyways, I know this is going to just be like a matter of like a shorter live stream, because I mean, I did wish that this live stream would have been a little bit longer, a little bit just to kind of continue a bit longer, but I guess I'd say, this live stream might come to a short of a finish, a little bit by saying is like, oh, we need a lot more people to kind of come back in this live stream, because I mean, I will say, be honest a little bit by congratulating the one person that joined in the live stream, but when there's like no people in the live stream, it really does kind of suck, because that's why I might have to end the live stream pretty short every time, because I know I might not expect many people coming right in anyway in this fourth channel, but I do wish the same thing, that it might come around and around, but I guess we'll just have to keep seeing what happens anyway. And also, more good news stuff, by the way. I want to tell you guys this right now, that this good news I'll tell you right now is at least there's going to be two more live streams, by the way. At least there's going to be two good news live streams, by the way. There's going to be like amount of good news live streams, by the way. I'm going to be doing two live streams, by the way. One's going to be about like the project I'm actually am working on, about exactly, about like the Final Fantasy 2 movie, of my own version of the movie, which is going to be a different name than recommendedly than the movie universe's version, which no, I'm not trying to pretend to say is like, oh, I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be using like it's called like that. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That's not going to be what that is. The only thing I'm going to say in my own current version is only going to be about the game. It's only going to be about the same way as the game, for those who might be less confused or stayed a bit topic for that, for those who uses a brain, by the way, to kind of fully acknowledge about the understanding about that question. is that yes, I actually am going to make the news and make the conversation about the entire characters, by the way, and might mention the characters, by the way, of however, with the characters actually going to be like, making a full on return, by the way, that might come around in the movie exactly, which it's finally about time that Shadow Freddy finally gets a movie at least he finally gets to come back, which means even though that he didn't return in the first one, there might be like some behind a bit of the scenes which I'm not too familiar with, which that's a little bit complicated, comprehended a little bit, which I really don't know why, but as I can say anyways, that I think it might kind of be skipped, by the way, or whatever, because that's a little too hard to kind of predict a little bit by actually seeing what I can really do. But all that matters right now, all that matters exactly, regardless, exactly, is that all that matters right now, whatever's going to happen is whatever's going to happen anyway, just for the sake of like the characters, for the sake of the characters going to do something, regardlessly in the movie, which that's all I can tell you guys, anyways. But for now, as I can tell you guys right now, anyways, is I hope that you guys enjoy this video. And also, I will be mentioning, in fact, about a season 2 being mentioned, anyways. That I will, in fact, mention about a season 2, regardlessly about a season 2 exactly of whatever season 2 is going to be held to be. Which I think, to be honest, with season 2 is going to be like a very well interesting season that I might be able to do exactly, which is going to have the same characters and pretty much have the toy animatronics, withered animatronics, unwithered animatronics. You guys name it, you guys got it exactly for whatever it's going to still be. But of course, there's going to be more characters anyway to be developed, anyways, just to kind of regardlessly kind of be on right now. So hopefully, we'll see where this goes anyway, because I actually am attending to kind of release the season and, of course, the movie itself, by the way, on this channel. So I hope to say it's going to be one hell of a good one. It's going to be one hell of an interesting one and a very highly interesting one, too. So that's all I can tell you guys about the good news right now, that there will be 2 live streams coming up pretty soon. But the fact when those in fact, about like those are going to be mentioned too. So hopefully once they get mentioned, then yes, I hope I will try my hardest to kind of get that out as I can, and will in fact mention it as I will try to do it. So anyways, if you guys want to go ahead and check out my MET videos, so yeah, go ahead and check those out. And if you want to see them, go ahead and check those out, by the way, in the playlists or in the videos itself. But anyways, as I said again, you sir, by the way, are getting a shout out, by the way. You sir are definitely getting a shout out, which, I feel you, man. I totally feel your pain, by the way, about like, dealing with thunderstorms and of course with heavy rain, which, yeah, I hope that you don't get a power outage out there, which I hope you don't have a power outage out there, which, that probably would suck if the whole power would have gone off, by the way, and just would have snapped off, by the way, and pitch dark, by the way, which that probably would suck. And I'd say again, in full likely agree, that kind of would suck. But anyway, so I want to let you know right now, man. That's all I want to let you know, and just give you a shout out, and just totally give you a shout out, by the way. And speaking of that too, I'm definitely going to add you as a moderator. So hold on, I'm going to go ahead and add you as a standard one. So there you go. Now you definitely are now a standard moderator, since now I definitely added you as one, as with the blue wrench. But anyway, for those who might want to ask me more questions, those, like I said again, will be saved for a longer stream, for like 2 longer live streams. But, that's all I can tell you guys that about. But anyway, see you guys later. See you guys next time. And sign right off, as always, as truly as next time, as always, in the next video. Goodbye, and see you next time. Signing right on out.